Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the top left-hand corner as the blue Protoss, playing for Team Edification Empire, we have Spida. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as the red Protoss, currently 1-0 up in this series and currently teamless, we have Dez.
So, Dez versus Spida, PvP. Give me a quick rundown. How did game number 1 go?
Game number 1 went with both players doing pretty much the identical builds, but Dez doing it slightly better. He did get his Stargate up a bit slower, like they did have a Stargate, but he wasn't able to use it to full effect. Instead, Dez went pretty much full Stalker attack with the forward pylon, because he was able to get his forward pylon down first and kill off Spida's first Stalker. And eventually, even with the warp, even with the Phoenix, Spida just wasn't able to hold it off. He just didn't have enough energy to keep lifting up the Stalkers that Dez was warping in.
Makes sense, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. PvP a really fun matchup lately with all the changes, obviously, with Heart the Swarm. And especially in the UK, I've been finding a lot of UK games really interesting. And Spida is obviously a player I've seen around a lot. EDE also hosting Sion Samea, who you just informed me is doing very, very well today, which is great. Also a friend of mine. And that's one of the great things about the UK Pro League, is seeing a lot of people we actually know personally advance through the brackets and get themselves up there towards those qualification spots.
Exactly, I couldn't agree more. And Sion is, as I said, he's currently playing against Vamp, who is one of the best things about the UK Pro League as well, is I'm seeing a lot of names that I haven't seen for an eternity. Like, just an example in this game alone is Dez. I haven't seen him play in a proper tournament for a long time. Like, he's been around, and he's been, like, in and out of stuff, but this is the first time he's entering on something at this level. So it's nice to see him back. And the other one I just pointed out, playing against Sion Samea right now, is Vamp. He hasn't been around for ages. He comes to every I-Series, he plays every I-Series, and he's an incredibly nice guy, really fun. But you just don't see him around that often. It's really nice to see names coming out like that.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we've got the players that seem to come out of nowhere. Look at the first qualifier, Boombox.
Yes, exactly. Boombox on Team Poisoned Heart. Team I'd never heard of until the previous qualifier. The other player, AC, also got 4th, so he was incredibly close, but unfortunately he wasn't able to enter today due to being very ill, unfortunately, due to him having, well, cancer, unfortunately.
That is a shame. It's an issue that can affect us all. But nonetheless, we should talk about this game. PvP, Dez versus Spida game number 2. Right now, progressing fairly normally. Dez with that second gate up. Looks like just a little bit of 3-Stalker pressure. Always effective in PvP, but Spida looks to be well prepared with his own mothership core out, energy building up, and 2 gates up. Just for defensive purposes, we see keeping the Stalker at home.
Indeed, Dez's build is looking very similar to last game, whereas Spida has got his is getting his Stargate up a little bit quicker than he did before. Dez is also throwing his down, but it's about the same time.
Yeah, and Dez already preparing for the Stargate. Look at the position of those 2 Stalkers in his base. He is very much aware of the possibility of Stargate, especially after game number 1. So already patrolling his Stalkers back and forth there just to catch anything if it was coming in quick, make sure there's no probes there as well. And now it looks like he wants to push out and do a lot of pressure at the front. We've got 2 forward pylons going down. And this will, of course, start to hit before anything useful is out of that Stargate. At max, you're going to have 1 Void Ray. And Void Rays on their own, not that fantastic. You want at least a small group.
Indeed. Well, even I will say though, not, as you said, not that fantastic on their own, but they are fantastic if they have a lot of ground support. They can still do some serious damage, and we're going to have to see a force field at Spida here. Really nice traffic, 2 Stalkers. Sentry though, taking a lot of damage, but this last Stalker will go down. But here comes the mothership core. Stalker can very much in Dez's favour, but there's the Photon Overcharge, easily going to be able to drive this back. Stalker's getting killed off left, right and centre here, but Dez throwing down the forward pylon. This is very similar to the build Dez did last time. It's an Oracle on the way. He did build it last time, but it never really got involved. And this time Dez is bringing in a Zealot, which he's going to be able to use to tank this Photon Overcharge, or he's just going to wait for it to run out of charge before he engages in, but as we have seen, the first Void Ray is already out, so that could be key here. Second Void Ray on the way, 2 more Stalkers being warped in. If he can keep the Void Rays alive, then they're going to draw fire, they're going to stop this kind of thing going, and there we go, drawing in fire from Photon Overcharge with that warp in, and letting the rest of his army push through. He's aiming straight for the Cyber Core, but here we go, units coming in from the side, drones coming in to try and deal with those Zealots as well. Needs to be careful they don't engage the Zealots on their own without the rest of that army, and the Oracle moving in as well, but it's taken huge amounts of damage, not being able to do that much. It just sort of flew over the Stalkers straight away and took massive amounts of damage, but Dez using it as a decoy to draw the army out of position, which it now very much is, and he's engaging their Cyber Core, taking a huge amount of damage. There's so many Stalkers here, Oracle just charging in, and it's used its Pulsar Beam and done some damage to a Stalker, but it was microing a bit too much there. It was currently rallied with the Stalkers, so it was microed with them where it didn't need to be. And Dez has been pushed back. Really nice time warp there by Spida, holding back the army, and the Stalker goes down. There's only one Stalker left. Down goes the forward pylon. Really nice defense there by Spida.
Yep, great defense, and this attack of Dez is over. The 2 Void Rays doing really, really well, and the thing is about that Photon Overcharge, and there's the GG straight up from Dez. Really no other option.